Hi, everyone. Today I have a super special guest with us, Chris Carmichael. You may know the name floating. He's kind of world renowned with a who's who of cycling superstars kind of underneath his training umbrella. So welcome, Chris.
Hey, thank you for having me, Samantha.
Yeah, thank you for taking some time out this morning. So we wanted to talk a little bit about the APEX because CTS is one of our sponsors. And first of all, because you're located in Colorado Springs, this is the first time a large-scale mountain bike race has been in the Springs in quite some time. So talk about how it felt to be able to ride the APEX and to have, be able to partner with an event in your hometown.
Sure. Um, Last year, when I was presented with this opportunity to get involved with the Pikes Peak APEX, everyone at CTS said, yeah, let's do it. Looked like a great event. Everybody that was behind it and helping move it along throughout the Pikes Peak area were all kind of the right organizations and the right people to help make it be really a special event. And so we signed on and we were really, excited to do that. It's our community. It's where the company was founded, where I live, and not everybody in our company lives in Colorado Springs, but many of us do, and we have a lot of coaches there as well. And so we're excited to get involved and help support our local cycling community. I was fortunate enough to raise it, and it was definitely challenging. It was a tough event, but not over the top. It was well within, I think, most people's capabilities. It was well organized. Everything considering the whole COVID crisis that the world was dealing with at that time. It went off exceedingly well. I was in the 60 plus age group because I'm now 60, and I've got an old injury where I broke my leg really bad, and I need my right knee is pretty arthritic, and because of this post trauma, and so I'm going to get a knee replacement soon, a brand new knee, woo, which will be nice. And I'm hoping that I will be up and running and back on the bike come the Colorado Springs APEX 2021.
Well, we would definitely love to have you back there. And of course, taking care of those injuries is paramount to be able to continue to be active into our seasoned years. So you did turn 60 last year and competed in that category, but you also had guest riders with you, some of your coaching clients. Now, did you go out with the mindset of riding alongside your clients, or did you really go out to try to land on that podium?
Well, with the events, it's really hard to basically just ride with the athletes you're working with, and really it's at CTS we really like to kind of prepare the athlete, and come race day, that's where they got to put it out, and they have to shine and kind of step up to that level. And so I was out there just competing, or racing is too strong a word. I was participating, and there were, I think, 5 in my category, in this category, and I finished third. So I was on the podium and finished third, but the reason why I finished third is 2 ended up not finishing the race. Not to make light of it, I really enjoyed the event, and it was fantastic. And it's really getting out there and just being part of the community, and cheering others on and supporting others, and vice versa. There's everybody kind of everybody's helping each other in a lot of these events, and and there was a lot of that kind of community support. So that's what it was about for me.
Yeah, the mountain biking community is so special, and to be able to bring more people in, especially from out of town, to see those beautiful trails in Colorado Springs. I think the more we can embrace that, the better. So speaking of those trails, can you talk about some of your favorites in the Springs, and did the Apex highlight any of those?
Oh man, I went over almost all the best trails there are in Colorado Springs. I think the gold standard for trails in Colorado Springs and right around there is Captain Jack's, and we did it probably 3 or 4 times. On the last day it was a circuit where we went a couple times through. The next to last day we came down Captain Jack's to the finish, and so that was really special to have an event, right there on this trail that, during the summer, I probably go down at least twice a week, go down Captain Jack's, and so that was really special. And, up through Jones Park, that is a classic Colorado Springs day, is, riding up Jones Park, back down Captain Jack's, home, and that's your go-to whenever you wonder, what should I do today on the mountain bike? What would be a good ride? And it's not an easy ride. And so, to see those type of trails included in the race, and hearing all the competitors, many from out of town, many from out of state, how, they were just blown away with how great the trails were. I didn't find that surprising. Many people in the mountain biking community in Colorado Springs, we've known that the trails in Colorado Springs along the Front Range there are really some of the best in really anywhere. I always felt you could those trails rival trails of any location, Crested Butte, the Aspen area, anywhere in Colorado. And I'll put those trails up against those, and they do just great, and everybody enjoyed them.
Captain Jack's, Jones Park areas seem to be the unanimous favorite with anyone that you speak to.
Exactly.
So, as a coach, what type of fitness should a rider aim for if they just want to come out and enjoy the 4 days of riding and scenery?
Well, that's a good question. And I think, you kind of hit the nail on the head. You want to have enough conditioning so you can enjoy it, and it's an enjoyable ride, and something that just doesn't, break you down and where it just feels like drudgery, and it's like, oh my gosh, another day, how am I going to get through it? So you really need to start training. You need to start training now as soon as possible to get ready. The event's in September, and it'll be here kind of quick. You want to make sure that you're doing some rides that include some good high levels of intensity. So, because some of these climbs are steep, and you want to be able to have enough power in your legs to be able to push up those steep little climbs. And then you also, the days are, longish, not terribly long, but they're definitely not a walk in the park. So you need to get in some long endurance days too, especially on the weekends. If you could get out and do a 3 or 4 hours, and just so you're used to that. So come race day, you're not asking something of yourself that you've never done before. And so that's the way to look at it, is some of these climbs, some of those steep hills, that should be part of your training routine. So, and the longer days when you're going to be out there for 5 hours on some of these stages, you should be doing that in training. It should be something that you're not surprising your body, so to speak, with something new on race day. So incorporating all those into your weekly training workouts would be what I would recommend.
And I know that CTS shared a training plan for free with anyone who registers for the Apex. And so I think that anyone listening should definitely take advantage of that. But if an athlete is looking to actually race a little harder, maybe shoot for a money spot, how can CTS help reach that goal?
Sure. We've got over 60 coaches, and many of them are have been in cycling for years, and they all have degrees in exercise science. So all their training and background is really based in good, solid sports science. But we also train our coaches really well, and so that we invest back in them so that they stay on the cutting edge of best practices, emerging science, things like that. So, signing up, getting a coach who can help kind of take you by the hand and walk you through that whole training process. So you're not wondering, you're not out there flipping a coin on what you're going to do for training and think, is this the right thing or wrong thing? You just kind of sit back and let us kind of guide you, and then come the event, you'll be ready.
It's so nice to have that teammate to help cheer you on and guide you on and know that they're leading you the right way. With the CTS Athlete House in Colorado Springs, do you anticipate bringing more athletes into a ride and race the Apex this year? And what would that look like if someone wanted to do like a bucket list package with you to ride the Apex alongside CTS coaches?
Yeah, our corporate location is on Colorado Avenue and kind of in Colorado, Old Colorado City. And right next to us is what we call the Athlete House, and it's a short-term rental, and we set it up so we'll have 6 people there, and so you stay at the Athlete House. We have a chef who will do all the cooking, mechanic who will take care of your bikes so they're clean and ready to go before each day, massage therapist, so when you get back, just go right to the Athlete House and get your massage, and then you don't have to worry about cooking. If you're hungry and you need to get a snack, we've got the refrigerator loaded with food, so it's kind of all right there. And we had a package last year for this, and we'll do the same this year, and it sold out pretty quick. It's only 6 spots, so it's kind of small, tight little group, and ends up being a good time. And the last day, we all share a beer together and kind of talk about the race and everything that happened over those days of the Pikes Peak APEX. And so it's just good, fun camaraderie and talking about what we accomplished.
Chris, do you have a favorite moment from last year's Apex?
Favorite moment? I think the next to last day, climbing up to Jones Park and through that area, and it was just really it was a little bit of a cool day, and which was nice because the first day was definitely warm, and so it was a little bit cooled down a little bit, and riding up through as we're getting up to Jones Park area, Daniel Matheny, who's the race director course director of the Pikes Peak APEX, was there, and he worked at CTS for a little bit and was one of our coaches. And it was great to see him out there. He was cheering, and he also had some shots of whiskey that he was pouring in little cups, and so I grabbed one and down that. I think that was probably the funnest part of the whole thing and most memorable. And then the next 15, 20 minutes after that, I had to definitely have my A game on because a little shaky from downing that shot of whiskey.
There should be hand ups at the top of every long climb at every event. I think we should just start making that a rule.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Well, Chris, thank you so much for joining us this morning. We really appreciate it. Now, I hear that Road World Championships are in Belgium around the same time as the 2021 Pikes Peak APEX. And so I don't want to put you on the spot and have you make a choice right here and right now as to where you're going to be. But of course, we would love to see you at the APEX again this year.
I'll do my best. I hopefully will be there with my new knee.
Oh, yes. Yes. Beautiful.
Yeah.
Well, Chris, have a wonderful rest of your afternoon. We appreciate it.
Thank you, Samantha.